Now, performance grants are a sophisticated form of intergovernmental fiscal transfer. You need to have preconditions. You need to have an already existing transfer system between central and local government. You need to have an already existing capacity of local government to manage resources, and you need to have an already existing discretionary grant system or unconditional grant system where local governments are free to choose. Once you have those things, then you can start saying, right, you are free to choose how you spend your money, but we will reward those that are best organized, most effective, and give best value for money for to the taxpayer. And so the performance grant system, you can compare it to a fitness program. It gets all of your internal organs, your machine working. So it rewards those local governments that have good audits, regular audits. It rewards the ones that take into account issues like gender, environment, into their planning. It rewards the ones that publish their budgets on the radio, the television, public notice boards. Transparency, the ones that hold open meetings and are very clear about what they're trying to do. So it will reward good performance in terms of the decision-making process, the transparency of that decision-making process, the quality of the decision-making process, and the efficiency of the decision-making process. And then likewise the expenditure process, the transparency, the quality and the efficiency of the expenditure and public financial management process. Do they try and get the best value out of their procurements, or do they have a more relaxed procurement, for example? So those are the criteria for performance-based grants. So if you get your house in order, you will receive more. But it doesn't tell you what to spend the money on. That's very important. And sometimes people try to put conditions on the performance-based grants, but that defeats the objective. The second point about performance-based grants is that the amount of performance reward has to be very finely calculated. If it's too small, then local authorities won't bother meeting these targets. If it's too big, then it'll be fiscally unsustainable and it will distort the system. So you have to fine-tune the value of the performance-based grants almost on an annual basis. And the third key element of performance-based grants is the assessment process. This has to be agreed by all, formula-based. You have to try to make it as objective as possible so that there's little room for doubt about who has performed well and who has not performed well. And you need a good political backup to this, because the poor performers may always complain, even try to take central government to court. You have to be careful, make sure that the institutional arrangements are correct and that there's political backing so that those who perform badly cannot go round through the back door and get the performance review overturned. There is another feature as well. It means you need good discipline in the Ministry of Finance and in the management of your financial resources and your transfer system over the year. Because in some countries what happens is you score badly in the performance review, but then they have a mid-year reassessment or a mid-year reallocation, and there are other opportunities to fix that when the Ministry of Finance is readjusting its figures. So you have to have a lot of discipline in the process to make it work.